Welcome everyone to the 10 a.m. coffee break before a long weekend. Um, so I think just to start too, Jamie, I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite thing to do on the 4th of July?
What is my favorite thing to do on the 4th of July? Not many people know this, but I actually hate fireworks. I think they're
I
kind of
do.
silly. Not for sort of the usual reasons, which are totally understandable, like pets in the house or kind of, post-traumatic stress issues that some people face. It's more of just, maybe it's the cheap person in me, but I just can't get past the idea of wasting money by just watching things explode. Because I used to watch neighbors and relatives spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on, literally 30 minutes of things blowing up. And I used to imagine like $20 bills on fire everywhere. And so I think, trying to um, honor the amazing sacrifices that have happened for our freedom. I tried to think through that. I tried to read. I used to until the last few years, I used to read, like, do the nerdy thing and read the Constitution and read the Declaration of Independence and really think about that. But now it's just, it's a great time to be with family, and especially right now, just all the crazy stuff going on. Really doubling down on spending time with family and friends, I think, is super important.
Hmm. Yeah, all of my family was, or a lot of my family was in the military, so we kind of do that remembrance kind of on Memorial Day and then Veterans Day in November. Um, I think for me, I always do like these races on the 4th of July, and obviously that's like done. But they're always like insanely miserable because it's usually like 90 degrees. So,
Yeah, I can
and
see
that's
that
going to
would
be,
be a
I
bit
went
of a
for,
pain.
yeah, I went for a run this morning and it was pretty miserable. It was like already 78 degrees at like 7:30 in the morning. So,
Yeah, I got out of my car and went, oh, humidity. I'm staying in all day. And that's my plan for beating the humidity.
we complain when it's hot, we complain when it's cold. So,
That is the Midwestern way.
all right, maybe getting on to something productive. I'll turn it over to you and what you have to talk about today.
Sure. So, this is probably a different location than people have seen before. This is Collider's large conference room, and I've sort of locked myself in here today. I'm working on some planning for the future. So, hopefully, that'll be a great thing for the community in Collider in the next couple of months, in the next year. So, stay tuned for that. Um, on the education side, we're super happy to be launching our class next week, starting on Tuesday. Um, I think we're close to, I think it's 27 people now enrolled. So that's really exciting. That shows that there's a hunger for building businesses here in the region. So we are hoping within the next 8 weeks to really highlight some of the amazing stuff that has come out of this program, and hopefully continue this program in the future. So really excited about that. Also means I got a little bit of studying to do as a facilitator for this course over the weekend. So that's another thing I'm doing this weekend. And then if we switch gears to the co-working space, uh, still just a reminder that we have some deals. So you can get your first month free here at Collider with a 6-month commitment, and that's a actual tremendous savings. And then for people who are already members of Collider Co-working, for every person you refer to us that then signs up, you get 25% off your next month's membership. So hopefully that's a way to continue to add some great people to our community. And then lastly, I just wanted to acknowledge uh, all the amazing organizations and individuals here in Rochester and really all of Minnesota who support entrepreneurs. I don't think that these people are identified enough. I don't think these people are thanked enough for the work they do to support entrepreneurs. So from me, thank you for all the great work you do. And I hope to get to know a lot more of you very soon, and as we continue our journey to support entrepreneurs. So with that, I'll hand it over to Amanda to see what's going on in her side of the Collider world.
So I also wanted to talk about the class that we're doing, but from a different angle, kind of a behind the scenes peek. Because I think
Oh
everyone
no.
sees like, yeah, yeah, I think everyone sees like what it looks like when it's done. But, you know, a lot of, for this class, we're also bringing in guest speakers. So they're not like lecturing, they're more like sharing their stories of around the specific topic that the participants are focused on that week. So for example, we have in the beginning weeks pathways to entrepreneurship, like market segmentation, and then identifying your target market are kind of the first 3 weeks. So we're finding guest speakers that can talk towards those points to bring in for the first hour of class. And this is both the most challenging and the most rewarding part. So that's kind of been what my contribution has been, finding these speakers. And it's pretty hard, just because, first of all, there are a lot of great people out there, but we can only have 7 of them. So then it's, you know, finding a balance between speakers that are in more kind of traditional businesses, speakers that are in kind of tech-based or medical businesses, and having a balance of that, as well as a gender balance, and also a racial balance in who we're bringing to talk, so that everyone feels that they can see themselves in the speaker and they can relate to the speaker. So that's really challenging. So just know that we put a lot of thought and a lot of intention into who the speakers are. You know, sometimes it doesn't always work out, and something happens at the last minute, which we understand that happens, but it's been very intentional, and we still don't even have them. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but there's still 3 spots that we're still trying to fill, and we're in conversations with people trying to find a time that fits for them. So our first speaker next week, I think I can say this, it is we're excited to welcome Beth Finbow next week. For those of you who don't know Beth, she's a Rochester entrepreneur. I think a lot of times when we think of entrepreneurs in Rochester, we think of medical. Beth developed a product. She's the CEO and founder of Busy Baby, and she has developed a silicone mat, basically, that suctions down to tables and doesn't allow kids to throw things onto the floor while you're eating. So she's or whenever, you know, you don't want to be picking toys up off the floor. So I think Beth has an amazing story to share. She's a mom, she's a veteran, she's done this largely by herself, but she's going to share more of that story with the class, talk about her journey, and importantly, talk about decisions of when to launch and when not to launch their business, because both of those are extremely valuable outcomes. You know, we don't want everyone going through this class to just, you know, assess the market and be like, oh, the market doesn't look good, but we're going to launch our business anyway. You know, that's part of what we're trying to help the participants in this class understand. So I'm really excited to get started next week. We are, like I said, we have a balance of people in product development, some food businesses, some medical businesses, some tech-based businesses speaking. So we're excited to see what happens in this class over the summer. And I also think it's really cool that it's virtual, because I would say at least a quarter of the participants are not in Rochester. They might be in Minnesota, but they're not in Rochester. So I don't know that those people would have come here to like a location in Rochester for this class. So I think moving forward, that's really important to think about. So lastly, I just wanted to wrap up by sharing some of the stories we talked about in Rochester Rising this week. So we had podcast episode 182. So this week I got to talk to kind of a staple in the Rochester community, Ginny Smith with Ginny's Fine Fabrics. She's been in business for 44 years here in Rochester in 5 different locations, has a very strong passion and dedication to what she's doing. She was inspired by her mom, who was really into fashion and design and fabrics and sewing. So Ginny talked about not only how she started out in some of those early stages of her business, but also how now she's transitioned into e-commerce. So she's opened up an Etsy store, and they're opening up a Shopify store by the end of summer. Partly it was because of COVID, but partly it was something that was on kind of the laundry list, and then it got done because of COVID, or got pushed to the top of the list because of COVID. So it's a really great talk with Ginny and her consultant, Anne-Marie Yan, who's helped with that e-commerce transition. So check it out. It's on our website. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, the Rochester Rising YouTube channel. Lastly, yesterday we shared the story of Living Room Tutors. So Living Room Tutors was launched during the quarantine by then Mayo High School junior Jinling Lee. And basically she was just seeing huge struggles with herself and with her siblings of distance learning. And as an English language learner herself, she really was troubled by how students who didn't speak English as their first language were dealing with distance learning. So she developed this completely free service called Living Room Tutors that offers virtual tutoring. Still going on now. She plans to continue it into the future until demand ceases for it. So it's a very cool story of someone just stepping up and fulfilling a need, and talk, just a story of student entrepreneurship here in Rochester. So check it out. It's on our website at rochesterrising.org. And definitely, if you enjoy listening to a story, if you enjoy any of our classes, share it with somebody and let them know what we're doing and let them know the stories of entrepreneurship here in Rochester. I think that's really important for our culture here, and for the community to grow and for more people to be aware of it. So that is it for me today. Jamie, you have any final thoughts for us before we sign off?
Not really. Just trying to. I'm literally looking at a whiteboard full of great ideas, which is exciting. So hopefully we'll see some of those ideas, and I'm really jazzed about the last half of this year. And it's funny to think the year is already half over. Some people would say, oh, it's only half over, but trying to create that or have a positive attitude with there's so much more we can do for the last half of this year, especially around entrepreneurship in our community. So here's, I guess there's some wood around here. It's this desk is wood, knocking on wood, saying that I hope the last half of this year is really strong for entrepreneurs in Rochester.
The fall time, I feel, is always one of the busiest times too. So yeah, we have a lot to look forward to, a lot of planning to do, and a lot of momentum still. All right, well, thanks everyone for watching today. And again, please share this video with people that would be interested in the story of what's going on in the entrepreneurial community here in Rochester. And we'll be back next Friday at 10 a.m. With a coffee break to keep you up to date with what we're doing.